Now, if you fancy yourself a dedicated gaming smartphone in 2020, you'll have to dig pretty deep, because even the most affordable handsets like the Redmi X50 and the Black Shark 3 will cost you over $500,000. But no fear, there's no need to don a balaclava and head out on a real life raid in order to raise some funds if you want to master games like PubG Mobile and Call of Duty, because I've tested dozens of budget-friendly smartphones, all of which can blaze through the latest Android titles no problem. And here's my roundup of my favourite budget-friendly gaming smartphones of 2020. And for more on the latest greatest tech, please do subscribe and ding that notifications bell. Cheers! Now, first up, if you really want a competitive edge, then you can actually get one of last year's dedicated gaming smartphones right now in 2020 for a price that won't have you eating beans on toast for every meal for the next decade or so. Although it's been superseded by the Black Shark 3, you can still get the Black Shark 2 for just £400 from the official website. And you still get some kick-ass specs as well as a buttload of gaming features. Performance comes courtesy of the Snapdragon 855, which can smash through any game out there, especially when coupled with the 8 to 12 gigs of RAM, as well as Black Shark's amusingly titled Ludicrous mode. And you've got a proper bit of vapor cooling tech here on the Black Shark 2 to help keep it from getting too toasty during those intensive afternoon-long gaming sessions, even when you're charging the bugger as well. Definitely great if you can't tear yourself away from the PubG Mobile. The 6.39-inch AMOLED screen supports HDR visuals and proves ideal for gaming, while the stereo speaker setup means you know exactly where those cheeky bleeders are creeping up on you in the likes of PubG. Unlike many gaming smartphones out there, you can grab a funky joypad which attaches to the phone via a compatible case. Definitely much recommended for those first-person shooters and anything that demands more precise control. Of course, 400 quid still isn't exactly budget, so if that's a bit too much for you, then no worries. Maybe try the Realme X55G instead. This bad boy is one of my favourite wallet-friendly smartphones of 2020 so far, packing incredible specs and features for just 300 quid. This brilliant blower is one of the most affordable ways of getting on Qualcomm's beefy Snapdragon 765G platform. And this thing was absolutely built for gaming on the go, so you can absolutely blaze your way through online shooty extravaganzas like Call of Duty and PubG Mobile on those top detail levels with a consistent top-notch frame rate. And you also get a proper bit of game space action too, which can be called up at any time by flicking from the top corner of the screen. And this serves up some very handy features like notification and call blocking, screen recording and fast messaging access. And you've also got some performance tuning tools that you can mess about with on there, but frankly you won't even need to touch those right now. And you also get some seriously impressive returns from the 4200 mAh battery as well, which will easily keep you gaming all afternoon long. As for the rest of the phone, well, that's just as stunning too. The 6.57-inch IPS screen is crisp and colourful, although yeah, you do get a big ass selfie cam stuck there in the corner, which can be at least blocked out in the settings if you find it annoying. Best of all though is the 120Hz refresh rate, something that you won't find on other budget smartphones, and that keeps everything looking gorgeously smooth. So overall, the Realme X55G is stunning value for money and definitely well worth checking out if you want a proper bit of power on a budget. For the same cash, you can grab yourself the Realme 6 Pro as well, which again packs impressive specs for that £300 price point. For a little bit less cash, you can even grab the Realme 6, which just scales down the specs a bit, but is still perfectly capable of playing the likes of PubG and Call of Duty. And because I think you're all absolutely lovely, I've done you full reviews of all of these smartphones right here on TechSpert, and I've even done a full comparison of the Realme 6 Pro and the Realme X55G in case you're wondering which one might be best for you. Now, a strong rival to the X50 for gaming chops on a budget is Motorola's also awesome Moto G5G Plus, and this again packs in Qualcomm's Snapdragon 765 chipset for just 300 quids, although this time it's not the G model, unfortunately. But no bother, you'll still get trouser-stirring performance when you play any game out there, along with the same 5G support. And like the Realme phones here, you once again have a feature-stuffed gaming mode to keep those distractions at bay. The display this time around is a 6.7-inch whopper, again serving up clear Full HD Plus visuals, but this time you also get HDR support too. But the defining feature here is the 21:9 cinema-wide design, which means you'll get a proper widescreen view of the action in games like Call of Duty. And the action doesn't have to stop anytime soon either, thanks to the huge whopping 5000 mAh battery, which will keep you murdering strangers online well into the wee hours. And again, I've done a full review of the Moto G5G Plus right here on TechSpert for your viewing enjoyment, so go check that out for all you need to know. Alternatively, I'm also a massive fan of Huawei's Nova 5T, which again packs some decent gaming features and chops for around the £300 mark. The Nova boasts similar specs to Huawei's P30 flagship phone, but with the less terrifying price tag. That means you get a Kirin 980 chipset which can easily cope with more demanding games, and PubG Mobile fans are also well catered for by Huawei's GPU Turbo feature. This helps to maintain a consistently high frame rate even during lengthy gaming sessions, so you can frag fools to your heart's content and keep that competitive edge. And on paper, paper, the 3750 mAh battery may seem a bit measly compared with some of its rivals here in my roundup of the best budget gaming smartphones of 2020, but don't worry, it provides strong returns even when you're gaming for hours on end. Plus, the 6.26-inch Full HD IPS screen is crisp, colourful and definitely fit for purpose, while the rest of the phone, from the Emotion UI launcher to the powerful camera tech, is just as lovable when you aren't blasting chunks out of random strangers. Now, rival company Xiaomi is always a surefire bet if you're after a powerful budget smartphone as well, because they serve up some proper beefy specs for just a wee bit of cash. And one of my favourites from them so far in 2020 is undoubtedly the Redmi Note 9 Pro, an absolutely brilliant budget blower that serves up some crazy good specs for just 250 quid. It's yet another Snapdragon chipset powering this monster, this time around at the 720G, which once again enjoys a GPU boost to keep those games running beautifully. Along with 6 gigs of RAM, titles like PubG play without a hitch. It's really rare to see any dropped frames here. You'll have a good view of the action on that mighty 6.67-inch IPS panel with a Full HD Plus resolution and a perfectly flat finish. And like the Realme and the Motorola blows, you also have a dedicated gaming mode to help keep you focused. And no worries if you want to kill a full afternoon by busting caps in your besties behind. The 5000 mAh battery means you won't run out of juice for ages, while the 30-watt fast charging will get you recharged in a jiffy. And when you're not gaming, I love the rest of this blower as well, from the capable camera tech all the way to the splash-resistant design. And if your budget is really tight, then maybe check out one of Xiaomi's earlier budget-friendly smartphones, something like the Redmi Note 8T. The Note 8T costs under 200 quid in 2020 and yet still packs some respectable gaming chops. It's got a 6.3-inch IPS screen which still boasts a Full HD Plus resolution with only a dinky wee nipple notch poking its way in, and this proves responsive enough to make PubG perfectly playable, as does the Snapdragon 665 chipset, as long as you don't have any aspirations of blasting through games on the highest detail settings. No worries with the battery life either, as that 4000 mAh cell keeps you going for a good few hours of action, while the 18-watt fast charge tech keeps you filled up again in a jiffy, ready for that next session. And if you're after a capable PubG mobile for under 200 quid, then definitely don't sleep on the Nokia 5.3 either. Just 150 of your British quids will buy you this surprisingly decent stock Android smartphone with very respectable specs. You've once again got a Snapdragon 665 chipset stuffed inside, which can handle the likes of PubG and Call of Duty on those lower detail settings. The 6.5-inch HD screen is decent enough for the price bracket, while the 4000 mAh battery drains very slowly, so you can get your murder on for hours on end, no worries. And yes, I have done a full review of the Nokia 5.3 as well as all the other smartphones I've mentioned today, so go check that out for more information on that brilliant budget blower. And thus ends this little video of me banging on about my favourite gaming smartphones on a budget for 2020. Have I missed out your own personal favourites? That's probably because I haven't personally reviewed it. Definitely let me know your thoughts down in the comments below, and please do subscribe, ding that notifications bell for more on the latest and greatest tech. Cheers everyone, love you.